Star Wars Rebels episode review. My thoughts on tonight's episode of Star Wars Rebels titled Holocrons of Fate. And I thought this was a really good episode. I thought it really picked up in the last 5 minutes or so, because I feel like the whole getting to the Bendu and finding the Sith holocron, I felt to me this is why sometimes I feel like the show works better when it's 42-minute episodes. With episodes like this, the story goes by so quick, and they were able to get the Sith holocron so easily that I felt that it was too quick. That's just how I felt about it. And while I like the episode, that was just one of my bigger gripes with it. And of course, one of my bigger issues with the show is just the characterization of Ezra, because sometimes I get it, he's a flawed character and he's young, so he's gonna be making mistakes, but he knows how evil the Sith is, and he thinks he can trust the Sith holocron, that he can trust Darth Maul, and it's how easily can he be manipulated? And to me as a fan, and I'm just come on, give me a more realistic character. Sometimes, I like Ezra for the most part. He really grew on me because I didn't like him a whole lot the first couple of episodes of the first season. But that's one thing about his character that I've never really liked, is when he steps back in his character development, that he doesn't think rationally. I mean, I guess you can say that that's how Ezra is, but to me that's just a glaring issue that I've always had with the show. But besides that, I think where he and Kanan ended up in this, by the end of this episode, I think as much as I didn't like the beginning of this episode in terms of where Ezra was, I did like where they ended up, especially with when they combined when they fused the Sith and Jedi holocron. That was, I think, one of the best parts of the episode. And of course, seeing Darth Maul back, because Darth Maul, I think, he's been utilized so much better in animation compared to how he was in Episode 1 of Star Wars. And I didn't hate the Phantom Menace as much as most people did, but obviously he was underutilized. They shouldn't have killed him off. If anything, he should have been the villain in each movie besides Palpatine, and he should have been the one that Vader would end up killing in Episode 3, and not Count Dooku, a character that we really didn't get to know at all until Episode 3. And by that point, they could just kill him off in the first 10 minutes anyway. But that's besides the point. And I like the portrayal of him in the animation. It's one of the things I like about the ever-expanding Star Wars universe, is that we get characters that we've gotten in the past that we brought back in animation, because it's easier medium to translate these characters in these stories. Especially with Ahsoka, when they brought Ahsoka back, I watched episodes of Star Wars: The Clone Wars here and there, and seeing her back, it made me want to watch the show more. And when she was back, I thought she was one of the best characters in her story arc in Season 2. I think was some of the best parts of Season 2 of Star Wars Rebels. So in this season, I'm still curious as to where Darth Maul is going to be going, especially by the end of this episode, after the revelation, when he finds out whoever it is alive. But we can only come to assume that he found out that Obi-Wan is alive. At least that's how I feel, in my opinion. Because who else would he feel that strongly towards? Because obviously his relationship with Obi-Wan Kenobi, since he was the one who initially, sliced him in half, and seeing where they were in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, I think I agree with for those of you guys who watch Collider Jedi Council. That's a show that I watch every week, and Christian Harloff on that show says that he wants an Obi-Wan movie, and for Darth Maul to be the villain of the movie, so they can finally resolve that issue that they've had through the Phantom Menace and Star Wars. The Clone Wars, and obviously being hinted at in Star Wars Rebels. So I really want to see that too. So will we see Maul the rest of the season? Who knows? Because the way the Season 3 trailer gave most of the footage was from this episode. So who knows what's going to happen? I'm really excited to see what's going to happen moving forward. And I think some of the best parts of tonight's episode were, the revelations that Ezra and Maul had. Because we find out when Ezra's looking, and he's getting all this knowledge about the key to destroying the Sith. He says, the twin suns, and he's talking about worlds that are familiar and some that are not. And the twin suns line, that's the line to me that, for me, I think that's both Holocron's way of telling him that Luke Skywalker is the key to destroying the Sith, because the twin suns, obviously, that's alluding to the twin suns looking from Tatooine, especially looking like that infamous shot from the original Star Wars movie where Luke's looking off into the sunset and he has the two suns. I think that means obviously the key to destroying the Sith is Luke Skywalker, and this is the first real hint at Luke Skywalker in the show, and that's something that I'm really excited for. Will they bring Luke Skywalker on? Probably not, because that probably contradicts some things that happened or that were explained in the original trilogy. They could potentially meet him and not tell them who they are, and not see like the Jedi parts of Kanan and Ezra. But once they're kind of slowly opening that door, I mean, who knows what's gonna happen? I'm really excited for that. And ultimately, this episode had a lot of what I liked about the show, the team dynamic, especially with Hera, Zeb, and Sabine and Chopper all using Maul's legs, his droid legs, against him and turning on the magnet in the Ghost. And granted that they're like quickly defeated, but I like the team coming. I've always liked that aspect of the team, of them coming together in a crisis and working together, because honestly, I feel like it's a really, really good way of giving us a sense of how they work as a team. So yeah, there's that. And honestly, other than what I said, I thought this was a really, really great episode. Seeing the Bendu back, seeing Maul back, obviously getting stuff being alluded to from future movies going on. I'm just really excited for the show moving forward, and I thought tonight was a really good episode, despite being. I just wish it was longer. That's just my main thing, is I wish it was longer, and Ezra was a little more realistic in this episode in terms of where he is. So those are my thoughts on tonight's episode. What do you guys think? Were you guys, as into the episode as I was? Are you guys looking forward to the rest of the season like I am, especially with all the all the Easter eggs and things they alluded to in this episode like me? Let me know and tell your thoughts in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. So that's going to be it for me. So until next time, guys, have a good one.